Today I'm going to be making some rings from these ring cores that I made. I do have a link to the video that I made these ring cores from, or ring core material from. I'll put it somewhere around here or in the description down below. But basically all they are is I have one round dowel wrapped with wood veneer and pink construction paper micarta, which just means it's impregnated with resin. And I did the same thing with a square dowel, and we're going to get two different results on the ring. But I'll make a ring out of each one of these for you to see how easy it is to make a ring from them. And the first step that I need to do is I need to drill the center hole. And I do that by mounting this into my pin chuck and using a Forstner bit. Today I'm going to be making like a size 5 or 6 ring, so I'm going to be using a 1/4 inch drill bit for that. So let's get this mounted up. Centered. And there, in one step, I have the rough size hole drilled through, and I just used a coping saw to slice it off the current stock, but that is going to be that ring blank. And now the square ring blank. And do the same process. And there I have the ring blank for the square dowel style. Now my next step is going to be, I like to stabilize them with thin CA glue, just to get all the gaps and all the paper and the micarta all bonded in there. I do that periodically through the ring making process just so I don't have a blowout. But the next step is I'm just going to soak these, or just soak it with CA glue and let it sit for about 30 minutes, and then I'll be back. So now that the CA glue has penetrated and dried, these are plasticized or stabilized, so they should be more stable on the lathe. The next thing I need to do is to get them perfectly circular with reference to the inner hole. So especially on this one, and that's to get ready for the next step, which would be sanding the inner hole. But I need to put these on the lathe and turn them perfectly round on a ring mandrel. And I do have in my drill chuck for my lathe a ring mandrel right now, but it is too big, so I have to put a smaller one in. And that's actually what a ring mandrel is. It's just a cone shaped. It goes into your drill chuck. It has a screw in the end of it, and as you screw in it into the mandrel, it actually widens out so it grips a ring. And this is a smaller one for the smaller ring sizes that I'm doing today. And we just mount the ring and turn that screw in, and now that is not coming out. So let's turn this first one around. I'm using carbide tip, a little bit more accurate for these smaller turns. That one is now round. It's gonna make a pretty ring. And let's get this one that's on the square dowel into a round. Tight enough. A little bit more. And now that one's round. So once again, I am going to saturate these with the outer edge with CA glue, just to get them all set up for the next process. And the next process is we'll put this in my pin chuck on the lathe and start sanding that inner final diameter and get that soft to your finger. And I'll be back when the CA glue dries. So now again, these are all dry. Outer circumference is now perfectly centered with the hole, and they're perfectly round, so we can start working on the inner diameter. I used a 1/4 inch drill to do the inner diameter, so that should leave me about a size 4 to size 5, somewhere in that range. Probably going to sand this up to a size 5. And to do that, I am going to be needing my pin chuck. and I just mount the ring in here. And what I have here is a little Harbor Freight tray. I don't know if you can see that, but I have all of my sandpapers from 80 grit all the way up until 3000 grit. Well, I probably won't be using it for this one, but it just graduated sanding, and I start at a low grit and work my way up. You want to concentrate on the corners here because that's the sharp edge that's uncomfortable when you wear a ring. Next higher grit. And I take a little bit of finishing oil. And you can see the inside is nice and smooth, comfortable curve to it. I'm just going to do the same on this edge. And now we have a nice little comfort. It's all sanded in there. This size has ended up to be size 6. I'm going to do the other ring, and I'm just going to pause the recording while I do the other ring. It's going to be the same procedure, and we'll pick up with the next step. So both rings are now turned to the inner diameter. This one ended up being a 5. I believe this one ended up being a 6. And now that we have the inner diameter done, we can work on the outer diameter. I'll be needing my ring mandrel again for that. And all I'll be doing is, again, putting it on the mandrel, tightening it up, and getting that thickness down. more of a rounded edge so I can get the edges round. Once I get the thickness to where I want it, I can start going through my sandpapers and bringing it down to its final thickness. Put some finishing oil on it. And there I have a beautiful plywood or veneer and pink ring. All I'm going to do is spray some shellac on that, or some lacquer or polyurethane, and get it all shined up, and it'll be all done. And this is the other one we can turn down. And I'm going to do the same procedure. And you'll see this one has a nice kind of a wavy pink and wood kind of a banding. Put this one up and get it, put some spray poly on it as well, and this one will be all set to go. And this is my little spray booth. I just have a little box on its side with some copper wire hanging down with little hooks. And that's how I just hang them and get them ready for some finish. Let the fog clear and let that dry, and just flip them over and do them again. And now that they're done, this is how I go from this to this to those. Thank you so much for watching these two videos, both the making of the core video and how I make the rings from them. Please like and subscribe to my channel. It does help out more than you know. Everything can be seen on my Etsy link, www.etsy.com/shop/crafts by arts, CRAFTS BYARTS. And again, thank you so much for watching. Be safe out there.